Hey, what is up guys? This is Eric with OzoneTCG. Today we're taking a look at a very special program to look at some of the Master Duel's game assets. Before we start the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future Master Duel content. It's kind of a different kind of video. We're not really taking a look at the game, we're taking a look at the game files themselves just to show you guys just a behind the scenes look at what's going on in the game, because I find a lot of the stuff interesting. Just also wanted to say thank you guys. We've been growing a lot. We actually doubled our subscribers over the past week just for Master Duel content. And to give you a little bit of background, I actually have a lot of experience. I went to university for digital design and media, which is like a fancy term for graphic design. This stuff interests me a lot. All the Ozone things, everything we've done with Ozone, I design myself. Besides some very, few stock assets, I design everything myself. I edit everything myself right now. This stuff is really interesting to me. If you guys like it too, it's out there now. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look. Again, thank you guys so much for taking a look at our videos, for supporting us. It really does mean a lot. We want to continue to grow. Our sub goal right now is to go to 500 by March 1st, and then double that by May 1st of 2022. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So up here, I actually have a special program called Asset Studio Gui. This is a way to take a look at Unity games and their source files. Now, I don't condone any kind of piracy or anything. Don't use these for commercial gain. This is actually, we will never monetize this particular video. But this, you can actually take a look at assets of Unity-based games. Master Duel is a Unity-based game. It uses the Unity game engine. You can download for free for personal use and commercial use. You can, you don't pay any kind of royalties up to a certain amount of money. I'm not sponsored or anything. This is just general information, of course. Yeah, so you can take a look at all of these. So you'll notice whenever you summon certain monsters, they play certain animations if it's a particular boss monster. For example, here we have Aurum, the World Chalice Warrior. This is the animation file. So whenever you see him pop up on the screen, the animation play, when he blinks his eyes, anything like that, he moves his arms or anything, this is the file that it's using. And it uses certain codes. So in here, these codes, these scripts are telling the game how exactly to move his arms, legs, and all the other assets. This is where the assets are stored. These are very high quality. You will not find these on regular scans that say, stores take, that players take of their cards. These are built directly from the actual, the source files that are used for each of the cards. These are not public. This is a Konami asset, of course, but this is very interesting that they have this. You have one of Ib's forms also in here, because she also apparently has an animation too. This stuff is very, very nice to have, both for designers if you want to take a look at how the animations are made, if you're into animation, for example, or if you're looking to, use them for, some kind of, personal video within, wherever you are within the law. Of course, again, I don't condone any kind of privacy, but for example, this is going to be your decode talker. Yeah, so whenever you summon one of these monsters, it'll play that. And they have them for a bunch of monsters. I've been looking through these. They have Ultimate Conductor Tyranno here. You can see which art assets are used. You can see all the effects. Someone had to break these down for each of the cards, or a team had to do this and do this. So True King of All Calamities, that's what's right here. Someone had to do this, or again, a team had to do all of this. This is a lot of work. I didn't do any animation classes when I was in university, didn't take any. I had friends who did, though. This is not easy to do. I learned a little bit of Adobe Flash, rest in peace. Not actually, the program is awful. But I had friends who were in this, and they did not enjoy how many keyframes you had to put in. This is all this program does. This whole thing is just a bunch of keyframes. You have Zark here. So I've been looking through these, and obviously I don't have all the cards in the game right now. I haven't tested all of the cards in the game and what they have already. So it looks like it's not responding, which I'm expecting it to not always respond perfectly because it's such an in-depth program. This is Zephyroth. This is Zephyr level 11. Yeah, so you can see each part on here. And this is really interesting because either someone did it this way or these were custom made using the card's original source files from Japan. This tells us a lot about how the game was made. And especially the amount of work that went into it, because this stuff is not easy to do. Again, it's mostly code that's doing this, But all of this, none of this is easy to accomplish and to make look good. I'm very impressed with the animation. Some parts of the game don't look great, but generally a lot of the game looks really nice. This is Invoked Macabre. Okay, I didn't even know that it had a it had an animation in the game. Zodiac Dryad, I have that. I featured that on a video before. Looks like these are other cards, but yeah. So this, no, this is a Shiranui monster. This is really telling on how much work went into the looks of the game. The game looks really nice, you know, visually, especially because it has a more modern design. It doesn't look like an old, you know, 2005 flash animation like a lot of the old Yu-Gi-Oh games do. I'm looking through the rest of these as well, see if there's anything. But the game looks really nice. The visual design, a lot of effort went into it. Looks like this is one of the BLS monsters. Yeah, a lot of work went into it. And I think that's where a lot of the problems came from as far as development and why the game took so long. It seems like, obviously, programming is going to take a while, but there's been a lot of programming done for Yu-Gi-Oh games in the past that have worked pretty well. Very few bugs in a lot of the old games. A lot of bugs in some of the others. I don't think that's where a majority of the development time went to. I think it was into these art assets. And this is really nice because these are all... looks like they are what we call raster images, so images that don't scale by, you know, mathematic functions. Paint or GIMP or Adobe Photoshop all are raster programs. You can import vectors, but they become raster because they're not truly, you know, raster. Adobe Illustrator is a vector program. These you can, you know, technically turn to a vector without getting too technical as far as design. But these are high quality. We have never seen these in regular scans before. And this is very nice to at least study for those who are interested in stuff like this. And really, that's why I'm making this video. It's not even to... there's no real point other than to show you guys that this stuff exists, because this is really cool. I mean, this is interesting to me. I was absolutely excited the day that the game came out because I wanted to see exactly what was in the game. What kind of art assets. Here we have Dingirsu. Orcas of the Evening Star. Yeah, we have everything in here. And you can mine through these, you can take a look at it, and then you can also see exactly how it's programmed, because Unity is a pretty universal game engine. Time Thief Redo, I didn't even know that had an animation either. Yeah, this stuff is just really cool. I know Eldritch the Golden Lord's in here. We have one of the Evil Eye, the Link 3. Yeah, there's just a lot. So I just wanted to go through some of these we have. Looks like this is Endymion. Yeah. Yeah. This is Pendulum Endymion. So he has a lot of stuff. And just to see exactly what was in here, because I haven't gone through all of these. I've gone through a bit. This is the Witchcrafter Aruru. Okay. And then this is Appaloosa. But I'm thinking that they have the exact layers. So usually a lot of these artists are using something like Adobe Photoshop. And Adobe Photoshop has a bunch of layers. I can show you guys exactly how to do this card render later. I'm gonna post that in just a second. I'm transitioning over that. But it looks like they are already using layers whenever they're making these cards. Whenever a new card is illustrated, they are made in layers. So for instance, the bear head for Appaloosa would be in the very top layer because it pops out the most in the front. You don't want this behind the body of the bear for Appaloosa because it'll look weird. You know, it won't look like it's supposed to be there. Same with the character's hair. You don't want the hair in front of the head because obviously you want the head to look like it's in front of the hair. Yeah, so that's what Adobe uses. I can show you guys how to exactly use those layers for a card render because the pendulum cards are very interesting for this. They're actually stored in a squished version. I'm going to go ahead and pull up kind of an example of this. I have one of these pulled up. Let me go ahead and find this. Yeah, but in the meantime, take a look at the rest of Appaloosa's card art. But they're actually stretched, and this is I found this the most interesting. I'm gonna pull up. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up Odd Eyes Arc Dragon, the normal level 7 Odd Eyes Pendulum monster that, you know, if an Odd Eyes card you control is destroyed, it summons from deck, right? Let's go ahead and find this. Let's see. I'm trying to find this. I may have to do a cut with this. so on screen you guys will see Odd Eyes Arc Dragon, whatever it's called. I don't remember the exact answer. You can see that this is how the pendulum monsters are stored in the game. Now, this is really interesting because obviously when you see it on a card, it looks normal, right? It looks like it absolutely should. Well, the game actually stretches, so they're stored stretched. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. I don't have enough knowledge in computer science right now to understand why they are doing it that way. They're not just storing it. It may just be for memory. It may be easier just to, to flatten the image a little bit, horizontally, and then use the program to scale it correctly. I do know how the game actually interprets the card data. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at one of these programs over here. Give me 1 second to take a look at this, you guys. Okay, and then I brought my version of Adobe Photoshop. I'm using the 2019 version. It's an older version, but it still works just fine. So we have Pendulum Mucho here, right? It has the wrong text, of course. I was using this as a test, but you can see here that Pendulum Mucho's art is correct. I found this really interesting. This is where we get into this part. So let's take away all of this, right? This looks correct. Like, this is the right art that you're supposed to see whenever you see the card. Because pendulum art, every single pendulum technically is a full art because it has art that extends through the bottom of the card. Unlike regular cards where you can only see, part of it, right? Well, guess what? We double click this, it's still stored as a stretched card. So what I did in this case, I decided to copy one of the images from the source files of the game and put it onto a card render. So this frame is also available in-game as part of the in-game textures. They have one for every single type, or card type, monster, effect monster, normal monster, fusion, link, etc. They have all of these. What I found really interesting is that the frame, so this is the way the game interprets this. The card image, so the frame, right? We have this frame render. If I were to hide that, okay, you can see this. You can see down here, so this just means that it's transparent, where where this this tool is right here. So this means that it's transparent, these checkered backgrounds. You can see that there are checkered backgrounds kind of behind the card. Well, that means that there's lower transparency here. The rest of the card is opaque. You can't see through it at all, right? Whenever you put the card, you can still see a little bit of it. Some other cards, and you can see, the penguin, flippers right here. Say that I took, Art Dragon. I could actually do this, while I'm showing you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up this. I'm gonna go ahead and paste that here, so you can see that it's extending way below, way down here, right? Well, guess what? It automatically scales back here. That's because I did this manually, right? I was taking a look at everything, but you can see that it scales properly. Well, that's because the game, from what I understand, so you see the frame here, right? The game automatically interprets each pendulum card. It reads that it's a pendulum card, or there's a note in in each of the files indicating that it is a pendulum and should be interpreted. The art should be translated as such. The game will stretch the art to any non-opaque area. So if it's at a 99% transparent area or opacity area, meaning it's basically opaque but not technically there, unlike the top, it will stretch it through that area. So it would stretch all the way across here, and that's exactly what I did with this as a smart object. If you guys know Photoshop, exactly what you do. I stretched it just to where these borders are, these borders on the side, bottom, and throughout whenever there is a non-opaque area. And I think that's exactly how the game does it too. The reason why this is important is because now we have access to every single full art pendulum that's in the game, available, and same with every card that's available as well in the game, which theoretically should be in. There are some cards that aren't in the game, some of the TCG World premieres that came out after Lightning Overdrive, specifically in the TCG, because so far we don't have Up to Dawn of Majesty. This stuff is really interesting. It gives us, high quality art renders for the game. Never before seen. No one's ever really done this. Some people do this on, say, sites like DeviantArt or whatever. They make their own renders, but you can really make your own cards. This is the next stage of Yu-Gi-Oh! Art card proxies. You see those selling on, say, Etsy and eBay. This is the next evolution because we have the actual art assets. We have the actual text files that use everything. We also have the font. So this is the actual font that they're using in the game. Whenever you see those card arts, this is the font. You can download it through there. I don't recommend using it for anything. It's just educational because this is really interesting, right? You can install it on your computer. You can use the exact text and font that they are using in the game to make your own proxies. It's incredible, and you can do it for any card. I can show you now. I'm gonna blur out some of this screen because it shows some of my computer's personal information on here. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. I'm gonna cut to here and then show you guys this. Okay. And so now I brought up the texture file, right? So this I downloaded every single one of the card arts in the game. It took probably 20 minutes. I have a relatively, like a mid-tier computer with a Ryzen 9 3900X, and that's usually what takes the longest, is the GPU acceleration and the CPU, the speed, the clock speed for it. You can see that all of the regular card arts are stored as regular squares. That's how they look on the cards. That's how they're stored in the file. You can see right here, for example, that the pendulum cards are still stored stretch. I'm gonna guess it's to save on memory. You can see some of the cards between these two. You guys can't see on the screen, but it says right here that this particular Perform Pal card is 664 kilobytes large. You can see the dimensions and everything on there. This one says that it is 609 kilobytes. Same dimensions too. So again, I'm guessing, this is my speculation, that they're just using it to save bandwidth, because those images would be larger if they were expanded, and you just use a program to expand it. Then of course my favorite card, shout out to Denglong, missed you every day, bro. Yeah, so we have access to all of these. Now what do these look like? Okay, well we could go ahead and take a look at that in just a second. But you can see, especially with Zephyroth, this card looks incredible. I'm gonna go ahead and import it. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like again. And this is not really, I don't expect to get the views, but yeah, so this is Zephyroth, right? It's still squished, right? But we already knew that this is what this card looked like because it was in a Japanese game. And that Japanese game was data mined a couple years ago and showed exactly the art for every single pendulum monster. That's how we know already that every single pendulum monster has its own full art. Whenever you make a pendulum, all the artists have to make it a full art. What I can do, again, I'm going to show you guys right on screen. I'm going to go from that over to Photoshop and then show you guys from there. Alrighty. So we can see Zephyroth has been scaled properly, almost. This is kind of a weird one, right? Because he's so different. But we can actually play around with the cards. Zephyroth might be one of the exceptions to that rule. Or they just scale it all differently. I don't know exactly. But the point is that it does scale them all, pretty much perfectly. So this is what the card looks like as an actual pendulum card in the game. And that's pretty much correct. I've done it before. I did it with Joker, Skullcrobat Joker. Yeah. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, that's Arc. Obviously the frame's not correct. But I did do it with Skullcrobat Joker earlier, and this is not correct. I compared it to an official version of the card. You can see that the legs are not quite the same, so it may be not 100% accurate. Or some of the art is not correct in the game. I don't know. Again, this is kind of a long video, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys this because this is super interesting. I absolutely love this. Yeah, so going back to the, let's see. Going back to the texture files, we have all of these here. Yeah, so we have all the art assets. You can see the Pendulum Magicians over here. This is how the game stores everything again. But I downloaded all of them. It took a while. It took a while to actually export everything. Took a couple minutes to actually open up everything in the asset Studio Gui. You can see we have Drytron. We can see we have the Phantom Rage. Not Phantom Rage. I don't know. Yeah, Phantom Rage. That's the set that Tribrigade came out in. Yeah. And some of the what are they called? Dual avatars, Virtual World. So those cards that came out in that set, they're going to be here. And I'm thinking that the game stores each of them by set release. So after Phantom Rage, we know that Genesis Impact came out, and Genesis Impact had Drytron. Well, Drytron right here. Same with Evil Twins, same with Magistus. They are all, so I'm guessing it's in set order. I'm not sure if it's by OCG or if it's by TCG quite yet. I haven't taken a look at all the patterns. It does look like that they are, they may be in TCG order. Again, I'm not positive on that, but it looks like they are because these came out afterwards. Especially this Bujin card, yeah, because this came out in Blazing Vortex. This came out in Lightning Overdrive. This Bujin card came out in Lightning Overdrive as well. Same with Golgonda, same with a lot of these. So, yeah, this is really telling on all the assets that we have in the game. Lightning Overdrive, yeah, okay. But Lightning Overdrive came out before, after the Ancient Guardian set, which we had Sulfa Chords, Ursa Arctic, and Ogdodatic, or whatever it's called, the snake deck. And they're stored afterwards. So maybe by OCG release, I'm not exactly sure. This is just really interesting. This is also very interesting because we actually don't have this card in the TCG right now. It's called Cockethorium, something or another, heavy metal something, I don't know. We don't have that card in the TCG. It's legal in Master Duel, though. OCG has it. We don't. We've never had an English translation either, meaning we may be getting this in Battle of Chaos soon, because this was released before Battle of Chaos comes to the TCGs in January of 2022. We may see that. We may not. It's just really interesting that it does have an English translation already. Yeah. So, I don't know. This stuff is really interesting. If you guys want to see exactly how to use Asset GUI, it's super simple. Someone on Zodiac Duelist actually told me how to. I just wanted to see all the assets. I have all the assets now. Just want to take a look at it through the system. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, thank you for the support. Yeah, if you guys like this kind of video, let me know. I'm curious. I want to do eventually, these kind of longer rant videos and art evaluations because they're very interesting. Oh, forgot to mention, we also have censored art. We can see here. This features Backup Secretary, and yeah, it has her English art and her Japanese art. I'm not sure which is which. I'm not going to open them right now, but it does have all of those as well for each version of the game. But yeah, if you guys like this longer form video, this kind of unscripted, and we're just taking a look at card art, design. I love it. I absolutely love visual design. I think it's extremely interesting, but I want to know what you guys want to see. So if you guys like this stuff, again, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, this is Eric with OzoneTCG. We'll see you in the next one.